Hey, I'm Coach T, and I'm going to introduce you to one of my favorite beginner tools for Python in this quick code Python video. Goal is really to keep this one nice and trim because it's straightforward and simple. So if you like the head-first practical approach to learning how to do something neat like computer programming with Python, consider subscribing to the Coach T channel. Every week I try to drop a new video on how to do something cool or how to get you closer to building beautiful things. And I really do try to approach these videos from the position of an adult learner like myself, trying to get over the raw rocks and understanding topics one step at a time so that we don't get overwhelmed or discouraged. So with that said, let's get right into this video on using the random module, which is very cool because you can do tons of stuff once you have access to a randomizer. So, all right. We have not talked at all about how to import things into our Python projects. It's ultimately really going to be a topic for its own separate video, but once you start to learn how to import things to a project, you can kind of clean up your code base and condense it so you can focus on one thing at a time. One of the ways that we do that is with the import command. So before I show you how to use the random module, I have to show you how to import it. There will be a video on importing things in greater depth in the near future, maybe in the next couple weeks. But for right now, all we need to know is that in order to import something, we need to type import, and then we need to name the thing that we're trying to import. So in this case, we are importing random. That's the name of the module that we want to import. And we could leave it at that, but I'm going to show you a way to simplify your code a little bit. So we're going to import this as R. And what that means is anytime we now want to call on a method out of the random module, instead of having to type random over and over, we only need to type R. It's a little bit simpler, right? So, okay, now our code in this file has access to the random module, which comes pre-installed when you install Python 3. I don't know about Python 2, but definitely Python 3 comes with random. It has access to all of those methods that are within the random module now. So what do I want to do? I want to set up a dice. I want to set up a D6. So we're going to call it D6. That's the name of my variable. And we're going to say equals R, right? And I'm going to introduce you to two very common methods. First, we're going to do randint. And you can see when I type R and I use the dot access operator here, it gives me all of the different methods that are available in the random module. I will be honest, I don't know what most of these do. I have not had to use them, but what I want is I want a, where did you go? Randint, right? Rand bytes would give me an even smaller version, right? Choice we're going to come back to here in a second because we can use that with lists that we learned about a couple weeks ago. We could get state, we could get a sample, we could get, where did you go? We could get a shuffle. These are all things I'd recommend that you read about on We3 Schools if you really want to go deep. But the purpose of my videos is never to go super deep, but to give you enough to get practicing and get moving on your own towards building cool stuff. So let's keep it focused and trim. We're doing randint. Now, that's not enough. What we need to do is we need to give it two things. So if I open up my parentheses for the method call, you'll see it pops up this window here. And I'm afraid to move my mouse because it might disappear. A int and B int. And that will return a random integer in range A and B, including both endpoints. That's different than the C# method that I'm used to, where the second number is excluded. It's called an exclusive endpoint. In Python, the first number that I specify is the lowest number that my dice can roll, and the other number that I specify is the highest number I can roll. So if I did 0 to 6, I could randomly roll a 0. That's not a face on a dice. We're going to do 1 and 6, right? And now I can do print D6, and I would get a randomly generated via the randint method any number between 1 and 6. And what we'll do is we'll just get a couple of these. We'll get 4. And we're going to run it. What do we get? We got a 5. Why do we get a 5? Oh, we got a 5 because every single time we were just printing off what's on the D6. So let me show you that with a little bit less goofiness. Now, each time it prints, it should randomly roll. And we should get more than 5s. There you go. We got a 6, we got a 3, we got a 1, we got a 5. That's actually a nice spread because it does demonstrate that the 6 here is non-exclusive. It is one of the numbers that you can generate. So how would we go about making a D20? Maybe you play D&D like I do. D20 equals r.randint 120. And then we're going to get this a little bit more complicated. We're going to add a while, true, D20. Actually, let's not bother retyping the code. Let's just be smart and move it. D20 equals randint print D20, right? So it's every single time it's going to reiterate and it's going to re-roll that random dice. And we'll say if D20 is exactly equal to 20, print critical hit, and then we'll break. So let's see how long it takes to roll a critical hit. Not very long, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 roll. Oh, no. Did it roll a 1? It rolled it right on the first one. Are you kidding me? That's goofy. I rolled it right on the first one. Okay, let's try it again because that's a terrible learning experience. All right. We'll re-roll and hopefully not get a 20 right on the first try. There we go. Okay. So now we rolled it on the 5th try. Critical hit and it broke. That's it. That's how we create a dice in Python. Very easy. And you can turn this into a method, right? Or a function rather. So if we def roll D20 and we're going to pass in nothing, we can just say D20 equals r dot randint 120. Again, those are my beginning and end points, and we can return D20, right? And now maybe I got to remember in Python, we define functions in advance. Roll equals roll D20, call the method. Oop, I did not capitalize it, my bad. And then print roll. And you can see now it is a repeatable piece of code. It'll just print off the 1, a 4, right? So we can turn this into a little program now. We can say while true, roll D20, right? We will ask for a input. Actually, we'll just do it like this. So it's just going to roll over and over and over again, right? This is effectively doing what it did before, but we could easily ask for an input. Do you want to roll another dice, right? Response equals input, roll a dice, and then we can say if response is exactly equal to yes, we would do roll D20, print roll, and we would say else break, right? Run this real quick, and then we'll look at the next one. Roll a dice, yes. Oh, what happened? Oh, I didn't type yes. Duh. Okay, whatever. Yes, 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 yes. A lot of rolls, okay? There we go. I think we're pretty comfortable with the randint method now. For the other one, for choice, I'm going to pause the video real quick. I'll get it set up. We'll come back. But in order to do this, you do need to know how to use a collection of some sort. All right, now I have the next part here set up. We're going to look at the choice method for the random module. In this case, we are still importing random as R to just simplify what we need to type a little bit. And I put together a quick list. The AFC East teams from the NFL, that is my division. So the Bills, go Bills, Patriots, Jets, Dolphins, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to use the choice method out of the random module to randomly select from a collection of options. The way that this method works is very simple. You just type .choice, right? And then you specify the list or collection that you want to pull from. Now, it can get a little bit goofy if you're working with dictionaries, but that's okay. That's a different topic for a different day. We're going to work with lists because that's all that I've introduced so far in this quick code course. So what we're going to do is we're going to randomly choose from the list, and that gets assigned to the variable team selection. Then we'll print off our team selection. Let's see if Python betrays me. Dolphins. It's selected Dolphins. Now, it's not selecting from the beginning of the list because that's the Bills, right? I put the Dolphins where they belong, but karma came back and bit me there with the Dolphins. So that's one way you could do it. We could also just tell it to print, oops, we could also just tell it to print random.choice from the AFC East teams. So, brutal Python. I don't like this language anymore. Patriots, Dolphins, Patriots. Are you out of here? Get out of here. I need my own vindication here, right? Let's see how it does. If I re-roll 3 more, right? Patriots, Jets, Jets. Wow, it really is against me right now. When I did this the first time, I got Bills, Jets. Oh, well, we'll kill this terminal because it's making me weep. So anyway, that is how the random.choice works. The longer this list is, the more options you would have to choose from. We could also combine this with something like, let's get rid of this. Actually, no, let's leave that. We're gonna want that in there, right? So team selection equals random.choice, and then we are going to team selection dot pop. Oh, I'm sorry, AFC East teams. FC East teams. Why aren't we adding dot pop? And we are going to remove whatever that particular item. We'll remove one shorter one. So what I want to do now is I want to figure out how to remove the team selection from the list. So let's see, it should be removing, but it printed off the Jets 3 times. So I think we need to get rid of this. And we need to do while true, print off this, and then I think this is gonna blow up in our face. Let's find out. Yeah, that didn't work. So cannot choose from an empty sequence. Okay, so AFC East is there. If len AFC East teams is equals 0 break. That might help. Oh, it just ended. Printed Jets. Interesting. Okay, well, that is something that I apparently need to learn a little bit more about, but I think that is enough for you to understand how to use the random module. I went a little bit off the beaten field there trying to get rid of the other teams. So, team selection, is it? Oh, you know what? It's not printing it. That's why. Print team selection. There we go. Let's see if that'll make it work. There it is. All right, so it only prints off 4, right? Because the list gets shorter and shorter and shorter. So anyway, I went a little bit off the beaten track there with the teams thing, but that's how we use random. We import first. You can import it as R. It doesn't really matter what you call it. This could be import as, noodles, whatever. It doesn't matter. I do R because it's simpler. And then you have your randint and your choice methods that I think will get you started on different projects. So go build some dice, go build a list of, a Pokedex and randomly choose from Pokemon, your favorite sports league, go choose some teams, favorite family members, whatever it is that you want to go choose from. So that's it. That's the random module. We went a little bit long in this video, but if you like this kind of head-first approach to learning how to use Python, consider subscribing to the Coach T channel. I am happy to have showed you the random module today. It has been a source of a great degree of joy in building goofy little applications like this. And I will see you next week.